Hi, this is Barbie, and this is the very first episode of the Real Talk podcast. I'm so excited to be starting on this journey, and thank you so much for listening. So, today we're going to talk about how to get started. When you have a dream, a project, or a task that seems so big, you don't even know where to begin. When the fear, the dreaded imposter syndrome, or that overwhelm sets in, the way to do it is to start by starting. Get things set up the best you can, then trust in yourself, jump in with 2 feet because you deserve to be happy and you deserve to bet on yourself. I have a few tricks for you that I have learned, and I wanted to tell you about them because guess what? I get it. And trust me, you're not alone. I'm so glad you're here. You're listening to the Real Talk podcast, a place for you to come and learn things about the real stuff that you're going through. Not the bright, shiny stuff we see on everyone's feeds, but the gritty, messy parts in the middle that need to be heard to heal. You matter here, and you're not alone. I care about leveling up and helping you do the same. Whatever leveling up means to you, whether that's in business, performance, or parenting. Let's get started. Hello, thank you for joining in. This is a very special day for me, and it's so much better because you're here. This is day 1 of the Real Talk podcast. I'm launching my podcast and starting on this journey that I've been wanting to start on for so long. I'm Barbie, and if you've met me along the way, you know I have a lot to say. I'm passionate about learning new things and sharing them because I think that they could probably help you as well. I think that we're all going through a lot of the same things, and I think it's really important that we're open about them and we share what we've learned and stuff we're going through. I also love making you laugh, so I hope I can do that too. So one thing I know for sure is that when I talk things through with a friend, it sure feels a lot better to know I'm not the only one. It's a lot easier to be brave when you don't feel alone. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to talk about the real stuff. Like I said, all the stuff that we're going through, and I know we're all going through a lot of the same things. I want you to know that you're not the only one. I had trouble figuring out what to talk about for my first episode. I mean, it will always be the very first one, so I'd better make it great. Did you guys know that a podcast's first episode is usually the most listened to episodes? Like people scroll all the way back and listen to the very first one. I mean, no pressure. So I've spent the last little while taking courses, worrying about the platform, the sound, the graphics, and I started to get curious as to why I was consistently putting off that big thing, recording the actual episode. Why did I feel such a block? I literally felt paralyzed to get going. So I've been wanting to start this thing for 2 years, like 2 years. Like if I had started 2 years ago, I would have already had 100 episodes in the bank. So why haven't I done it? I stopped beating myself up and I got started. I started by starting. Well, quite frankly, to be honest, I got so annoyed with myself that I started looking for solutions. And sometimes that's what happens. You know, we get to the point where we're like, okay, enough is enough. It's time to be the parent and tell your stuff. It's time to get up and push record. So we're here now, and it's not going to be perfect. And I know there'll be a zillion things later that I wish I did differently. But the most important thing is that we're here together now, and I can say, I'm a podcaster. I'm using my voice to talk about stuff that matters. No more playing it small and doing everything for everyone else and putting myself second. Does that sound familiar to you too? Through the process, I was curious about the reasons I was putting it off, and there's 3 main buckets I figured out. Number 1, fear. Number 2, fear. And number 3, you guessed it, fear. So of course this fear comes out in different ways, and that's what we'll discuss, but we remember they always stem from the same place. So the 3 things for real that I wanted to talk to you about was how our brains keep us safe, comparing ourselves to others, and perfectionism. These are the things that create that paralysis effect. And they did for me at least, and I'm sure they do for you as well. Our brains are designed to keep us safe. When something is unknown, our brain tells us to stay in the safe zone, where we know what happens and what we can expect. We're animals, of course, and if an animal walks past a dark, unknown cave, there might be a big, scary bear in there, so of course the animal stays out. No way, man. I don't know what's going to be in there. That's scary. The cave is scary, so we need to tell our brain it's okay to give it a shot. Take a baby step. You can trust me. You're okay. See, that went fine. Now you can do a little bit more. And your brain, while it wants to keep you safe, can also learn new ways. It needs to be trained. So the more you do brave things, even if they're small, your brain learns that it's safe to do that. For me, I did that by committing 1 hour a day to working on this project. So my brain was learning and I was making progress. The more you do, the easier it becomes. So even if I wasn't ready to do the big thing, I was taking small steps towards it and it still counts. So keep that in mind. And always remember to celebrate the small wins, even if they're little. Sit there and think, hey, you know what? I'm really proud of myself. And then your brain says, hey, I want that feeling again. I want to be proud of myself again. Let's try to do something a little bit brave again tomorrow. The second thing I was doing was comparing. I want to have a successful podcast. So of course I was looking up to people like Mel Robbins and Guy Kawasaki. But here's the thing. I'm just starting and they're years in. I'm on chapter 1 of my story and they're on chapter 10. So of course, when I'm looking at what they're doing, it's super intimidating. Here's the trick. I scrolled all the way back to their first posts and episodes. See, I did that. I learned how they started, not just about what they're doing now. That helped me tremendously. Yes, of course, they have perfect backdrops and photos and marketing and sound edits. But Jenna Kutcher started recording in her car on her iPhone. And Mel Robbins recorded her first audiobook herself on her Mac at home. She said she was dropping papers everywhere and stumbling words. So of course, while I'm super excited and motivated to follow their leads, I'm less intimidated now because I know when they started, they were just like me. Comparison gets you in trouble. And even more so when you're comparing yourself as a cute red apple to someone who is a bright orange carrot. Stick with what you know and be yourself. It's easier than being someone else anyway. And of course, it's kind of tricky to figure out who that is all the time. But trying to be someone else is definitely not going to get you ahead. The third thing I've been reminding myself consistently is getting it done is more important than making it perfect. Perfection is not achievable anyways, and I've spent a lot of my life trying to be perfect in different areas. Being a perfect mom, being a perfect friend, being a perfect spouse, all those things, you're not going to get there. There's always something to improve, and there's always someone out there who can do things better than you can. But just keep doing it your way and chipping away at your goals. This is true in a lot of areas in life. Like getting out of bed and going to the gym is way more important than completing every rep. If you don't complete every single rep at the gym does not mean that you're a complete failure. Yes, you could do better next time, but you got there. And that's definitely more important or better than laying in bed all morning. Getting the social media posts out there is more important than impeccable branding and execution. Be yourself. Be real. Get it done. People like to see the real you anyway. You know what some of my favorite posts are lately? The ones where Drew Barrymore shows her messy apartment and Jennifer Garner dumps out her disaster of a bag with old kid snacks and everything in it. Why? Because it's not perfect. And it makes me feel like, hey, she's just like me. My bag is a mess too, and guess what? That's okay. So get it done, press publish, hand it in, or make the pitch. Your goals and your dreams matter. I believe in you. When we train our brains to do brave things, we stop comparing ourselves to carrots and stop worrying about being perfect, which is impossible anyway. Do you know what happens? The pressure stops too. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be you. That's who people want to be around and who they trust to buy from or be with or join in. Look around who you follow and who you look up to, and I guarantee they are doing brave things, whether that is learning a new language or building empires. They're being themselves and they're taking action. So now that I've started this ball rolling, I'll be back each week. Thank you for listening to the end. I would love to hear your feedback and especially know if I made you laugh. I can't wait to do it again. Talk to you soon. I'm so glad you came. Thank you for listening to the Real Talk podcast with Barbie. This is the place for you to come and learn things about the real stuff that we're all going through. Make sure you check out the show notes, links to social media, and information on any guests that we had on the show. Thank you so much for coming. I'm so glad you came.